Hey guys, it's Adriel from Style Assisted, and today I have a review for you for the Maskcara Cosmetics 3D Foundation that actually comes in this palette. So backstory is that the Maskcara Cosmetics, when they came out a year or two ago, maybe a year ago, it was developed by a blogger slash makeup artist out in Utah, Kara, and she is phenomenal and I adore her and she's just amazing. But the colors they had initially were too dark, which if you have fair skin, you definitely understand the struggle. So I emailed them and asked them if they were going to have any lighter shades, and they said not at this time, but check back. So I waited maybe 6 months and emailed them back and said, hey, do you have any lighter shades yet? And they said, we actually do. It's coming back. Could we send you some? We're going to launch it really soon. And I thought, that's perfect. So they kindly sent me the entire palette with all the colors that they recommend for fair skin, and I tried it out. And I loved it, and I immediately put a picture on Instagram with my finished look of what it looked like all together, and I had so many people that messaged me and said, I really would like a tutorial and a review of this product because you look like you, but different than normal, which makes sense because sometimes, you know, I have on more makeup because I've got a shoot day or whatever, but this is definitely a natural, glowy, really easy look for people that aren't thrilled to have a ton of makeup on or just don't have the time. This you can apply really, really quickly, so that is also a fantastic bonus. So if you guys want to see the finished look, stick around. Okay, so the palette actually looks like this, and when you open it up, you can see all 4 of the shades in there, and the shades are, they actually come separately in these little tins, and then it has the names on them. So we have Walnut is the contour shade, Moonlit is the highlight shade, Pearl is the illuminator, and Pink Grapefruit is the blush. So if you actually watch the video, Kara will use this brush, and she does this to apply all of her foundation, all of her blush, and then she uses her fingers to dab on the illuminator. Now, because I have freckles, I actually don't use the entire brush because I need heavier coverage in some area and lighter coverage in others. So I actually use my finger to apply it and then use the brush to blend out, because blending is key to any look with any makeup looking amazing. So what you're supposed to do, and if you actually look online, I will link below an actual video to Kara's page that shows how she applies it all with the brush, and it actually shows which order you should go in, etc., etc. So I'm going to start with the contour shade, which I know sounds kind of counterproductive, but trust me, you want to start with contour shade because then you can blend it out. So since I am fairly fair, I feel like I say that all the time, I'm using a tiny bit, and I dab from the middle of my cheek, underneath my cheekbone, up. Now I make sure my face is fairly hydrated before I begin this, because if it's not, it won't blend as well. It will actually, because it's good foundation, it's not super oily or anything, it will not blend out if you have dry skin. So make sure your skin is good and moisturized and just has a little glow. As you can see, I'm kind of shiny. It has a little glow to it. I actually just use the Clinique Dramatically Different Moisturizing Lotion for my moisturizer. I love it. I've tried all of the super expensive brands, and I don't think they do anything more. So anyway, that's my story. So I'm just blending, 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 blending. And this is actually the side that she uses as well for the contour shade. Got a little bit more on my finger. Going to the other side. See, it's just, I mean, not a ton at all. Because when you're fair, it's noticeable when you highlight because you're not tan, so you don't look tan, you know, it doesn't look like a highlight. It looks like you put some dark color underneath your cheekbones. And it's not attractive. That's why I was so pumped when I found out that she came out with a lighter shade. I was like, yes, finally, because you fair-skinned people understand the struggle. Like, it's just bad. So, yeah. Okay. Next, take a little bit, and you actually do the top around your hairline because it gives dimension and makes you look like you have a little bit of color, but that way you don't have your whole head being, you know, brown. A little bit along the entire hairline on the sides too. And since it is buildable, you don't have to do a ton early on. You can start with a little bit and build it up. My first night when I got it, I was like, so excited! And I put too much on. And I looked stupid. So for me, with the fair skin, I found that if I do a light amount, it ends up looking better in the long run, which I'm all about. And it looks more natural, because isn't that sort of what we always want, is to look a little more natural when we do things like this? The entire point of this line is to be beautiful and quick. And obviously I'm talking while I'm doing this, so I'm not going as fast as I probably could. And then she recommends down the sides of your nose, which sometimes I add later on because I like to be more precise. And then she suggests along the jawline as well, because it gives dimension, and if we're being honest, as redheads, we have no dimension. It looks like our face blends down into our neck, and not in an attractive way. So you really want to make sure you highlight your jawbone and accent it with the contour shade. It really makes a difference, especially in pictures. Have you ever had pictures where you're sitting there like trying to get your chin out as much as possible? Because if you don't, it looks like you have a double chin even though you're sitting normal, because it blends. Because it's like the light sort of just disappears into our face. I don't know what the deal with that is. The joys of being fair-skinned. You guys know what's going on. Okay, so contour done. I know it's not a lot. Like I said, you can always add more, but I like that I don't have to. It's totally buildable. So next I'm taking the actual foundation for the rest of your face, and as you guys can tell, I have dark circles like nobody's business because, hello, I have a toddler. It's weird because now I have to say he's a toddler instead of a baby, even though I still call him the baby because, you know, he's my baby. But regardless, he takes up all of my time, like all of it. Okay, so the important thing is to blend underneath the eye, down further than you think on your cheeks, and then all the way back to your hairline, because that actually adds the illusion of no dark circles. Yay! And I always tell people the hint with makeup, if you blend your concealer all the way up this way, it actually pulls your eye up and gives you sort of like a mini facelift. I'm not kidding. It's what we do on set if we have someone that's a little bit older and we want to give them more youthful glance, and you see people and you're like, why does their makeup look so good? That. And also, I have a little bit more, so I'm going to do the center of my nose. But you can dab all the way in, and then I use this end of the brush and just blend it, which is fantastic. I love this stuff. It really is great. And I love the idea of everything being in one palette. So I'll dab a little with the brush, get it on my nose, because I have redness around my nose constantly. Like, there is no getting around it, ever. Always have redness around my nose. Do you guys too? Fair skin, like, all the time. Just so much redness. And then you want to put some up here. So you can do both. This area I actually don't put a ton on, but I like to blend out. So obviously you're not blending, and then if you want to make sure you didn't blend any of your contour away, you can blend down with that. But the idea is just in general to make sure that you still have that contour around the hairline. So I'm getting more with my finger. And like I said, when she does it, she uses the brush and it looks amazing. Like, Kara's just gorgeous anyway, but it's so cool to watch the before and after when she does this, the entire palette. I mean, the 3D foundation is just amazing. I love it. And I also dab because my skin, I try to take the best care of it I can, because taking good care of your skin in general makes you look younger longer, and who doesn't want that? I mean, really. So still blending down. I mean, you almost want to feel like your entire cheek is covered, because you have your contour here, and then you want this to all be, the idea is to all be one seamless color. And it pulls up the eye. And then now my chin, which, you guys, I have redness for days down here. For days. Like, if I have a breakout or some sort of sensitivity, that sucker will stay red for months. Sometimes even like a year or two. It's horrible. And yes, there are products that can fade those. However, I'm allergic to all of it and I break out when I use it. So, that's fun. Okay, so just blending around my chin, and then you put contour here, you put contour here, go in between. It's really, really not difficult. I mean, that was sort of the point when Kara developed this, is she wanted it to be easy for people and not this huge hassle. You want to get around your mouth, and they actually send, did I even bring it in? Somewhere I did. An actual card that lists all the areas you're supposed to highlight and contour and shadow and whatever. So you don't have to watch the videos every time. Well, and you get used to it and you go pretty fast. Okay, so that's done. Then you take the adorable, actually I'm gonna do blush next. So okay, the blush, and actually all of it, is crazy pigmented. So here's the deal, I didn't use a ton of foundation anywhere, but it covers so well. It's really impressive because it doesn't feel super thick, but it covers extremely well. The contour, I barely touched it with my pinky and blended it in. Super, 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 super pigmented. The pink, the blush, I put on too much the first night and I was like, whoa, that looks horrible. Because, user error, I didn't realize it was going to be that pigmented. It's fantastic. You sort of get used to stuff not being pigmented and you have to build. You do not with this. It lasts a lot longer than you'd think it would, which is fantastic. Okay, so smile, dab, and the whole point to making you look youthful and young, pink on your cheeks, a little bit darker than you would think. And just on your cheeks, because it gives this sort of youthful, rosy, super happy, just ran in from outside glow. I don't run in from outside. I'm chasing someone around the house all the time. But regardless, pink cheeks. And I like to use my fingers for this because then you can sort of see what you're doing. And then I blend it back a little bit. And keep smiling. Go to the other side. Complicated, I know. So when you go like this, you should have little rosy cheeks. And then last, the Illuminator, which doesn't look like a lot, but it's beautiful. And then I do the tops of my cheekbones. Make sure that's blended in well. Do a little bit above my eye to give a little highlight. And just sort of this halo glow, which I love. And I always use my pinky or my ring finger to apply this, so that way you're not accidentally dragging any of the makeup you've already applied around your face. As I said, don't drag it, and then I'm dragging it. My goodness. Okay. So you add it around the eyes, and then I add a little bit to the Cupid's bow. And then you're done, literally. I just apply my favorite Balm chapstick stuff ever. This is L'Oreal Color Riche Balm in the shade 218, which is Rose Elixir. And I actually love the color of this with the grapefruit, the pink grapefruit blush that she adds in the kit. And there you have it. I'm done. So it is very much a natural sort of just glowy, I don't know how to describe it. It's very natural looking though, obviously. And I didn't do a ton of makeup on my eyes. Obviously I did them before I got on camera so that you guys could just focus on the foundation. But I love it. I love it because it's priced well for all the things that you get. I love that it's compact in one thing so I can take it with me, or if I travel, I've got one thing to worry about. And finally, it works for fair skin, which is just fantastic. So this is the finished look. You can set it with a setting spray if you'd like. If you tend to have an oilier face throughout the day, I actually recommend the Becca primer that you put on ahead of time, but technically any primer that you want to use will do. But if you have oily skin, it's just always easier to set everything, especially since everything's a cream, ahead of time. But if I know that I'll be running around and I'll be getting hot, or I just want it to stay put, you can always use a finishing spray. I recommend the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. It's fantastic, and I haven't found one that works better. So here's the finished look. I hope you guys like it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. As always, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe. And you can always come say hi on Instagram. It's @StyleAssisted, or on Twitter @StyleAssisted. And go say hi to Kara, because this is amazing. And as always, with my disclaimer, I was not paid to say any of this. They actually sent this to me for free because they're awesome. But it was just for my opinion because I wanted to try it. So I was not paid to say any of these things. I could have hated it. If it was too dark, I would have told you guys, because you know I like to keep it real, and it's just, life's too short to just lie for stupid reasons. So that being said, the lovely people over at Maskcara Cosmetics did not do anything other than provide me with the product. So I love it. I hope you guys try it. And I will also put the shades down below just in case you had any questions. And you can buy them individually. So thankfully, if you run out of one, for example, use the foundation more than you use the highlighter or whatever, you can just reorder the foundation, which is brilliant, because I hate that. Usually in palettes, I'll find one thing I love and I use the heck out of it, and then I'm out of it and the rest of the palette's still good. So I'm carrying around multiple products. Anyway, I hope you guys found this helpful. And as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you soon. Bye. Okay, so after that, we actually have the Maybelline New York Fit Me Concealer in 15, which is fair. Yeah, it's just fair. This has actually been compared from a lot of bloggers to the Nourish Cream Concealer, which I already have. So these are the two. Now, if you look at them,